Hey guys, welcome to the part 6 of this video series. In this video I am going to do the Vanos rebuild. I am starting here removing the engine covers. Pull out all the ignition coils.
There you go.
Get those cables out of your way. Disconnect that little ground wire of the ignition coils. The ignition coil harness is fixed on the cover with clips, so just pull it out. Unscrew the valve cover. Disconnect the CCV system hose. Using a sharp plastic tool, I am going to pry out under the cover to get it off.
Plastic thing. Oh yeah. Jesus.
Removing the valve cover reveals the Vanos unit. Well, before attacking the Vanos unit, so I recommend to be prepared for oil spillages. I covered everything under the Vanos unit with paper towel, and I am using a bag filled with paper towel too. Disconnect the Vanos coils. Then disconnect the camshaft sensor. Normally, by pressing the clips on the connector, this connector should come out easily, but it wasn't the case for me. I have used the plier to get it off. I have squeezed the clips on the connector with this plier. And guess what? This plier was belonging to an e36 that I had before.
With this, man. This.
A little bit of cleaning before attacking the big plugs. Before removing the nuts fixing the Vanos unit on the cylinder head, I decided to attack the big plugs because they need a big effort. It is on the exhaust side where the maximum of spillages will occur. So I am screwing and unscrewing that plug progressively, and I was also using paper towels to absorb all the oil spillages. Removing the big plugs on the Vanos unit reveals the yellow cups. They could be easily pulled out using a plier. Remove the engine hook. Disconnect the Vanos oil line. The pistons of the Vanos unit are fixed on the camshaft with small screws. They are left threaded. Now undoing the nuts fixing the Vanos unit on the cylinder head. Here I am trying to pull out the Vanos unit from the cylinder head, but I forgot another nut that should be removed, but I will figure out that later on. I forgot that nut. Now the Vanos unit could be pulled out easy. These are the rods fixing the Vanos unit on the cylinder head, and these are the centering pins. From this point I will not be working on my garage, so I covered all the cylinder head with a plastic bag. This is the piston on the intake side. incredible. He can move backwards just by gravity. On the exhaust side there is a spring inside. I started removing the cover on the intake side. I have cleaned the Vanos unit from the outside before attacking the inside. Trying always to stay organized. Here I am poking the screws on the cardboard. Paper towel to absorb some oil. And look at this play. Removing the cover of the exhaust side. Here you gotta be careful, just keep a pressure on the cover while removing the screws because there is a spring inside. Here are all the screws poked together. I was looking for differences between the two pistons. Actually, I didn't notice it any except one thing, which is that mark. On the exhaust side it is marked 3.7. On the intake side it is 3.6. Well, not important to highlight, but it was just for me, just in case when an earthquake will shake the house and everything will be mixed up. When removing the old gaskets, just be careful and patient. I was using a sharp knife and a small screwdriver. I made a small hole, then I can continue removing the gasket slowly. The gasket was moving all the time, so I've used the rag to fix it a little bit. And here we go, first gasket removed. Each piston has 4 gaskets. The upper gaskets are flat gaskets and underneath them there is O-rings. O-ring is removed. I was using the same technique to remove all the gaskets. Just be patient, like I said. A little bit of cleaning before putting on the new gaskets. This is the Vanos rebuild kit that I bought. It comes with the gaskets of the pistons, the cups, and the main gasket between the cylinder head and the Vanos unit. It comes also with the new screw plugs of the Vanos unit and the two washers of the oil line. The Vanos unit after the rebuild will deliver its optimum performance after 200 to 300 kilometers. I dropped the new gaskets on hot engine oil to make easier refitting them on the pistons, but some people are using hot water, but I think engine oil is the normal environment of the gaskets. That's why I am using it. I have removed also the camshaft sensor from the Vanos unit and I have cleaned it. Traces of a thread locker on the screw fixing the camshaft sensor. Now installing the new gaskets and starting with the O-rings. Always make sure that the gasket sits correctly. Normally installing the O-rings is much more easier compared to the flat gaskets. The small flat gaskets were the hardest to put on.
There you go.
Now let the pistons sit on the chambers for a while. before, make sure to apply a layer of engine oil. Gaskets on the cabs should be also renewed. I was a little bit surprised as I compared the new gasket and the old one. The old one was a flat gasket and the new one was a new ring. This made me a little bit worried, but I've used them anyway. Now removing the pistons from the chambers and let them fit on the covers for a while. Time to put everything together. I'm starting with the intake side. There is no tightening order for these screws, but I will be following the star shape. Now the exhaust side. And don't forget that spring, because I actually did. Here I am checking the right position of the cover. And keep applying the pressure on the cover while you're fitting back the screws. Here I am checking the movement of the piston inside that chamber on the exhaust side. I am applying the specific torque here, which is 10 Newton meter. This is the end of the part 6, and in the next video I will be putting everything together, firing up the engine, and I will be dealing with a strange leakage. Thank you for watching and see you next time.